Japan.
So it's been a while since I've posted any videos just because the weather has been horrible and I was on vacation as well. But today I'm going to try to do the mock-up for the roof rack on the little pickup and mount all the necessary hardware, hopefully the windshield frame, and then tie that into the brush guard at the front so that this wobble that I have now hopefully should stabilize, and if not, I have to figure out any kind of extra reinforcement that I would need. Okay, so the first step I gotta do is I designed these brackets. So this hole here, these two holes are tapped holes, threaded holes. So what I gotta do is it's supposed to be assembled like this. It could also be assembled like this. It really depends on how much you want the roof rack to go forward or back. For what I gotta do now, it doesn't matter, but what I gotta do is I gotta find the center of the bar and then measure equally out you know, where the centers for these holes would be, and then drill a through hole on the factory crossbar and then mount these brackets on. Now what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to mount the brackets already on the roof rack, so that way, you know, that basically acts as a jig so that I could make sure to mark up this correctly on center.
Ryan Little.
Japan.
Okay, so I drilled the holes. I had to chase the holes through this side also with a step drill just to even out the hole diameter. And now I'm gonna mount the brackets. I'm probably gonna mount them on the bar, but I gotta flip them around, I believe, because they should really be where I insert the screw from here, and then it tabs into the threaded hole there. So I'm gonna mount it up, see how it goes.
Ryan Little.
Japan.
Okay, so the brackets are bolted up. I had to retouch some of the paint because it got scuffed during the drilling process. I also used this E-Split product. It's a oily wax spray that basically prevents rust because it kind of coats the metal, any kind of metal that might be left raw, or even metal that's not raw but kind of inhibits rust from forming. So the brackets are all bolted up, so the roof rack's on. Now I'm going to try to attach the front windshield frame. Okay, so the windshield rack is mounted, or windshield frame I should say, is mounted to the roof rack now. It's actually pretty sturdy. Does have some play, but now I need to tie these brackets to this. Honestly, I don't think that's gonna be 100%, but I'm gonna bolt it up and see what happens. I don't know if I'm gonna need to put some additional gusseting or something on this brush guard, the one that goes around the headlights. Also, because I intend to mount some driving lights on there. That's what those square holes are for. So I want to make sure that the lights aren't like bouncing up and down while I'm driving and like blinding other people. So let's bolt it up and see how it looks.
Ryan Little.
Okay, so I must have dropped that screw like 5 times, but we have a bit of an issue. So here there's kind of a gap. I was originally planning on bolting these two together, but because of the gap, I think I have these aluminum spacers, so I'm going to put a spacer with a longer screw. The only issue I have is I have a screw that's too long and one that's too short, so I'm going to have to see. I might just, obviously I can use the shorter one because it won't reach, but I'm going to use these longer ones. They're going to stick into the bodywork quite a bit, so it's just going to be a temporary fix. Actually, now I'm looking at it, because of the type of nuts I'm using, it might not work. What I might have to do is split the difference, where I bolt this one right up to the tube and then maybe I put the spacer here. The issue is I don't have any access to use an Allen key in here. So I might have to, unless I take the whole frame off again, which I really don't want to do. So I don't know, I'm gonna see if I have some putter 20 nuts that don't have those nylocks, and then I'll just replace the hardware once later on. Okay, so I figured it out. I designed this with a lot of adjustability, and I had this grill all the way forward like this. So that's where that 1/2-inch gap was coming from. So I just loosened these 4 bolts, and now I could push this whole frame back right up against this bracket. So now I could just mount it straight onto there. I have the hardware. Only thing I'm noticing is there is some interference. You kind of see the frame is hitting the windshield wiper right here. What I'm planning on doing is, I have these rubber bumpers. You basically put a screw through it. It's kind of got a recess on one side for the screw head, and maybe tap some holes on this frame here and use these as like a little bumper just to space that out, so that with the vibration of driving it doesn't hit the windshield wiper. The only bad thing about this is that I would have to remove all of this to install it, but you know, let's get it all squared up and installed and see how bad it is. Okay, so frame's all welded up. Not sure how I feel about this gap here, but what I think I might do is I might actually mount some of the driving lights on there, because they these I'm gonna flush mount to that, I guess you could call it, grill. But here I might just do the you know, the top mount, where basically there's like a U-shaped metal bracket, and then the light is mounted on there. I think that might be a perfect spot. However, having 4 lights like that right above each other might not look that great, so I might mount it more on the outside. And maybe I ordered like a Honda logo. Maybe this is where I'll put it, just like a little Honda decal, since I took the badging off the car. So I think that might tie things together a little bit. So as far as stiffening up that movement, I think it did quite a lot. As a matter of fact, it's not hitting the windshield wiper anymore. I mean, yeah, I really gotta shake it hard to get it to hit. What I think I'm gonna do now is just try to figure out what's the best mounting point for those bumpers, and maybe I'll install them at a later date. But gonna kind of clean this hardware up and just play around with that for a little bit. Okay, so I figured it out. So this is what I decided to do. Instead of tapping holes or drilling new holes to mount this, I used, so I had on this bracket was held with a screw going through, and there's a nut in the back, right? So what I did was I just removed that. I flipped the screw around, and let me just show you what the piece looks like when it's not mounted. So I used a longer screw. This is the screw that was on there before. I used a longer one, one of these guys here. I bolted it through in here. That's got a recess, so it sits about that far in, and basically now I have a little bumper with a threaded stud coming out the back. So what I did then is I inserted it from the back going forward. I did have to unscrew the these 4 bolts, these 2 and 2 on the other side, and these 4 on the bottom here, to move the whole assembly forward so that I had a room to work in the back. And it obviously you can't over tighten, because you know it's rubber, so it's never going to really stop the screw. You could keep threading it until the rubber probably tears, but it's really solid now. I mean, basically when you push on it, it pushes against the body with that little rubber bumper, and I did it on both sides. So I think the only thing that looks a little bit weird is having the screw like this and this one like this. What I might do, just for aesthetics, is just flip this over, so that at least it matches. I know it's kind of nitpicking, but you know what, I might just leave it this way, because now that I think about it, there's less chances of people tampering with it like this. You never know, when you park the car, people might, you know, look at it and start trying to mess with it. But I think the only thing left to do now is mount the basket on top of the roof. So I'm gonna clean that stuff off the top, and I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna look with that on. I might actually put it on, decide that I don't like how it looks, and take it back off. But since I have it, might as well put it on there, see what it looks like.
Ryan Little.
Japan.
the cage is all up. There's two pieces that I didn't put on. They basically tie to the those bars that come up from the under tray of the car, and then they kind of box off where the blinker is. Reason why I didn't install it is because I think it covers the license plate too much, and I think I'll get a ticket. So and it also kind of makes it look really heavy, so might leave it off for now. Just like the basket, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that or not, but you know, I'll keep it on there for a while, see if it's convenient, and you know, take it from there. So next video I make, it's probably going to be starting to install the fog lights and auxiliary lights. I bought two sets. I believe I bought a set of yellow ones and a set of white ones. So for some reason, when I turn on the lights on this car, it seems like there's a lot of drain on the alternator, and it's just the lights for some reason. I don't know why. So I think I'm gonna wire those up first, the ones on the grill, so that I can use those in bad weather instead of the headlights. New Jersey law, if it's raining, you gotta have your headlights on, wipers on, lights on. So I think I'll do that. That'll be the next video I post. Thanks for watching.